I have recorded this video a few times. Hopefully, I don't forget to say something. I really would like to get into this first episode. If I do, I will definitely make sure I get on the second one. This is a completely different format than what I'm used to, and so there's a little bit of a learning curve for me. But I had a series called Getting Rich, and I'm going to change it to Financial Freedom. I think that's a better description of what I'm trying to do instead of just trying to get rich. I think if somebody just gets rich, they're going to go broke. They don't know how to handle their money, and they're not putting anything in place to sustain that wealth. I don't want it to just get rich. I want to sustain that. That was a mistake that I made back when I was much younger. I actually had a small business, and I made a lot of money. I made a big mistake. Um, that's another story for another time. So this is just a simple 3 categories, 1 through 4. Independence actually has the least amount of things. Probably because that's, I don't want to say simpler, but that's where ideally you really want to try to get to. And then you have to kind of figure it out when you get there. But I think the freedom path is going to help build that experience. And hopefully I can share that experience with all of you guys. Because I'm going to be showing everything. Kind of like I do with my trucking videos, if you're a current viewer of mine, and you look at my trucking videos. So, the reason why I don't think I'm up here in dependence is because of trucking. Trucking really gave me the avenue to make a lot of money. And I was able to get out of debt. I was in massive debt. Trucking helped me get out of it. And I'm not trapped in a job. I can change jobs very, very quickly. I can go to another trucking company. I can go work in the office. There's different avenues you can get into in the world of transportation. Getting the experience and having some hands-on really helps you with not being so much trapped in a dead-end job at all. So I don't think I'm there, and I'm definitely not living month to month, or paycheck to paycheck. I have more than enough money to cover all my expenses and still have plenty of money left over. Some months a little bit better than others. So that's where I think I'm in the financial freedom. I have assets that do offset my debts, but my assets don't really bring in a whole lot of money yet. So it's considered a good ratio, but I want to bring my asset value up a lot more. So that way my assets starts to actually being more of a full-time income. And then I also have emergency funds. If I lost, if my vehicle broke or something like that, an emergency, I have the money to be able to take care of that right now. And that's a great thing. Now, that doesn't mean I can take care of a huge medical situation. It means that for your basic emergency issues, I have the ability to take care of those. And then I also have enough money to cover all my bills for a couple months. Not a whole 6 months or anything crazy like that, but I can cover all my bills for a few months without any more income. That is such a stress reliever when you can sit there and say, hey, if I don't work at all for the next 2 or 3 months, you can be financially okay. You're not going to be evicted, okay? So that is a really kind of important thing to me, and I have enough money to cover for about 2.5 months. And I'm able to cover all my needs. My standard of living is what I like to call it. And I still have money left over, and I can buy some of my wants. Now, thankfully, a lot of my wants are in the asset category. So it will either raise my value, net worth, or it could even help generate some income. So my wants are actually in line with my plan, which is great. There's a few wants that I have that aren't necessarily in that category. So I'm not sitting on those wants as much right now because I have a bigger picture in mind. I I guess I could do a video on some of that if you guys are interested on what some of my wants could be in asset and kind of like trying to grow some of that. And there's a good chance I probably will do one of those here sooner or later. This is just like a quick rundown of a new series of financial freedom. And then we'll move on down here to independence. Being independent and having total freedom with your finances would be a beautiful thing. That's a lot higher than just financial freedom. Independence is you're working for yourself, or you're just not working at all. Your assets is your income. So your asset is bringing more than enough money in that's covering all your debts, and you have everything that you had in your freedom. You can buy what you want, and your money just kind of keeps growing. But it takes a lot of management. So that's why it's like total work freedom, but you still have to work. There's some limitations on that. So that's why trying to come up with a fourth one for independence was a little difficult. If you could think of a fourth one, let me know down below. And then spending money on my wants. If I say, oh, I would like to have something, the last thing I want to ask myself is, can I afford that? If I want something, I want to be able to sit there and say, yeah, I want that, and buy that. That is true independence when it comes to finances, okay? And that's what I want to try to move towards. I was really close to that at one point in time in my life, and I really want to try to get back to that. It was pretty great. So now that we kind of have like a little bit of a basic roadmap, let's take a look to see where I'm at right now in my asset category. So we'll pop over here. So over here is just a really simple spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet I put together all by myself. It's been a work in progress for a little while. So over here is a monthly column. This is my trading account column, and then just some quick charts. I'll explain these charts here in just a second. Let's take a look at this column. So over here is January, and of course this is going to be December, 1 through 12 months. Even though it says 13, it's just because I used the one column up here for the word month, just to help keep things easy. So right here is the beginning of each month and the end of each month. And then right here is the percentage that I grew or I went down. And you can see right here, I have no data. In this situation, data is very important. It's something that we do want to make sure that we try to keep track of. So I need to make sure that I keep up with this. Now let's take a look at the end of last year, or the fourth quarter of last year. Fourth quarter of last year, I took a real hit. We could go ahead and highlight these right here. I was down 8% overall. That's terrible. I really want to be averaging an increase in value, not a decrease. So I lost money. And part of the reason why I was losing money is because I was being way too aggressive. You can see right here in November, I actually brought in 17%. It was actually a lot higher than that, but I took a hit. And then the beginning part of December, I really took a hit. I do have the information from that. I have saved it. It's on this next sheet that we'll take a look at. If you guys would like to see some of that, I can pull that up and we can go through it real quick. But that would be in a future video. But last year, I kind of broke away from what the plan was. I was trying to get rich quick. And in that sense of trying to get rich quick, I lost money. So I kind of stepped back, reevaluated, and made a new plan. And my plan for this year is smooth, steady growth. And that's what this chart right here is really going to help us try to do. But you can see the first month I had a 6.5% increase, a little bit more than 6.5, but we'll round it down, say 6.5. Then I didn't make as much as I was hoping. That would make, going into the second month, 0.09%. But you know what? That's still an increase. So that's better than zero. And mind you, I'm still working at Swift, so I really doubled down that month in my driving, as my trading was not going very well. We could take a look at that, and we will in the next on the next spreadsheet. And in this month, right now, I'm sitting at 9.2% overall increase across all my trading accounts, and that number is fantastic. And I've not put any money in, so that number is a real number. Now, going into the second quarter of this year, I'm probably going to be moving some money over from my bank account that I have, some extra funds that I have, and move those into my trading account. I'm not sure how much yet, but if and when I do that, I will notify you guys so that way you guys know exactly how much I came into it. But we can see at the beginning of the year, I came in with 8,000, and I'm sitting at 9.2 thousand right now in my trading account. That's not a bad increase. That's better than having the money in my savings account. And then let's come over here to all the accounts. So we have TD, Robin, and Robin's right there, and Coinbase. So you can see on my TD Ameritrade, I've not done any trading at all. It's zero. So I mean, I guess that's better than taking a net loss. But I have $3,000 basically just sitting there. So I'm hoping to try to do some trades with that in this coming week, but I don't want to drop my 9.2% average that I'm getting right now. So I'm going to take it slow and just try to bring in a little bit. Mind you, our goal is to hit 10% this month. If I hit 10%, I'll be thrilled. I'm not far away from that. On Robinhood, we can see that I made 7.24% increase. Now, that 7% increase was on a very small amount. As we can see, there's only 500 and some change in that account. So it came up, say, roughly 35 some odd dollars. Not bad, but that's not great. But it's the percentage that we care about. We want to, keep that same level of income moving in, right? And then right here on Coinbase, we can see that I've been smashing it out. It's at 15.37% increase on a fairly large amount of money. So that's great. That's where the bulk of my money is right now. So let's take a look over at monthly reports. So here's a quick breakdown of this if you haven't been watching my Get Rich series. So this is TD Ameritrade, this is Robinhood right here, and this is Coinbase right here. And then this is the other months right here, so I can actually pull those up fairly easy. But this is the beginning of the month of week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Now, in this month, we're going to have more than 4 weeks. So the last week is basically, gets all wrapped into just one huge week until the end of the month. I just did that for simpler calculations. I could have added a 5th week in here, but I decided not to do that. And then each weekend is when I close these out. So this was already closed out earlier today. And so we're on the 3rd week right here. Right here. So you can see up here, 0 in this column, and this is the month before. So you can see I took a little bit of a hit last month in the first 2 weeks. Then I pulled a 1.5% increase, and then I did nothing the final week. So I lost overall that whole month. And you can see over here, I actually brought in a profit, but I took a 15.5% decrease. That was a mistake. I got a little greedy, like I said. I need to make sure I keep on top of that, so that way I don't keep sliding backwards. And then the same thing happened over here on Coinbase. 18.5% slide backwards. I really only want to slide backwards a couple percent and increase by that much. So I had to reevaluate. In this month, I've been doing a lot better. So we can take a look up here. So 0, up here 3% slide backwards, but I brought in 11.5%, give or take. Now, I sold out on everything I was doing on Robinhood, other than a few stocks. So that number's going to be pretty stable unless I jump into another trade. So I might end that month or this month on the 7.6% increase, which is only a profit of $36. But profit is better than no profit. Now, sorry, my nose is a little itchy, y'all. Over here on Coinbase is where I've been doing a lot of trading, and I've been doing quite well. The first week, you can see I took a 1.8% decrease, but the following week I had a 20.9%, and then right now I slid back a little bit, 2.8%, but I'm sold out mostly. We can take a look at that here in a second, and I'm waiting for a dip. And hopefully when I buy back into that dip, I can ride it back up and grab another 5, 10, maybe a higher percentage. But remember, we want smooth, steady growth. So even if I don't take any more trades this month in Coinbase, I'm perfectly happy. Hitting 16.28%, that's great. That's a great increase. That's higher than what most businesses make. So, yeah, I can't complain about that rise. So, that's basically on that. So this was a really simple, straightforward video. And this is episode 1. There's going to be a lot more episodes. And I think each week we're going to at least end on this page right here. If not weekly, maybe monthly. Where I'll kind of say what I've done that past month, week, whatever. Am I going up? Am I going down? And I could also post screenshots of this on my Facebook, stephan.harz YT. So if you don't have my Facebook yet, great time to go over there, sign up, and kind of watch that. And I also have Patreon. Now, I don't have any current Patreon supporters, but hey, it's there. So yeah, we're going to be working on steady growth each month. We want to try to bring in roughly 10%. Right now, we're not averaging that. We're averaging, between the last 3 months, 5.3%. If we take out just that 1 month, that's going to be an average of 8%. So that's a little bit closer to that 10% if we don't take a look at the February month as much. So, yeah, there's a lot that's kind of going on there, and as we go through this, hopefully you guys will learn my spreadsheets a little bit better. And yeah, if you have any questions, please comment down below. I do read every single one. Sometimes I'm a little slow at getting back to them. And you can also email me. The email is in the description. If you have any questions, I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.